Have you considered that the fat you carry could be sending chemical messages that change how your brain proteins fold, pushing you closer to Alzheimer's disease?
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. I'm Ethan Foster, and today we're examining how obesity reshapes cellular communication through fat-derived vesicles, toxic lipid signals, and hormone resistance to accelerate amyloid plaque formation and cognitive decline.
I'm Alara Sky, and we'll keep this focused on what recent research shows. Vesicles from fat tissue can speed up the misfolding of amyloid proteins. Specific lipids like sphingolipids and ceramides worsen oxidative stress and drain mitochondrial energy. And leptin resistance blocks the brain's normal cleanup of amyloid. We'll also outline actionable steps centered on restoring cellular health.
Obesity has been linked to Alzheimer's disease because vesicles released from fat cells alter how amyloid assembles. When these vesicles are enriched by excess body fat, amyloid clumps faster and forms denser, more toxic aggregates that neurons struggle to clear. That's not an abstract idea. It's a mechanism for how your body fat can distort cellular messages that reach your brain.
Those vesicles aren't carrying random cargo. Analyses show higher levels of sphingolipids and ceramides in people with obesity. These lipids intensify inflammation and drive oxidative stress in neurons. In lab models, exposing human neural cells to vesicles from obese individuals increased cellular stress and reduced mitochondrial activity, the energy output your brain cells rely on.
When mitochondria falter, neurons lose both power and housekeeping capacity. Energy deficits slow the processes that normally degrade and remove amyloid proteins. The combination of more toxic aggregates and less cleanup accelerates the path toward plaque buildup and impaired cognition.
There's also a molecular shift in how amyloid proteins fold. Under the influence of those lipid-rich vesicles, flexible proteins adopt a more rigid, aggregation-prone structure. That rigidity is what makes amyloid sticky, promoting aggregates that interfere with neuron signaling.
You might think choosing unsaturated fats over saturated fats solves this, but the data show a concentration effect. At high levels, both saturated and unsaturated fatty acids can promote amyloid fibrillation. At lower levels, some lipids may inhibit aggregation. The key is controlled intake and avoiding lipotoxic conditions that push your cellular environment toward aggregation.
Beyond vesicles and lipids, leptin resistance is a second driver connecting obesity to dementia. Leptin normally travels from your fat tissue to the brain, supporting memory regions like the hippocampus and activating pathways that reduce amyloid levels. In obesity, the brain becomes resistant to leptin's signal. Hunger control worsens, and the brain loses a protective hormone that helps restrain amyloid accumulation.
Inflammation deepens that resistance. Low-grade systemic inflammation associated with obesity raises C-reactive protein, which reduces leptin's transport across the blood-brain barrier and dampens its function once inside the central nervous system. With less leptin action where it matters, amyloid clearance falters while inflammatory stress mounts.
Weight itself shapes leptin output. Leptin circulates in proportion to fat mass, and dysregulated signaling has been associated with higher risk for cognitive decline. Some studies report that low plasma leptin in older age correlates with increased Alzheimer's risk, underscoring how disrupted signaling, too little effect despite altered levels, can impair brain resilience.
The common thread is cellular energy dysfunction. Whether it's vesicle-borne lipids stressing neurons or leptin signals failing to cross into the brain, your mitochondria sit at the center. When they're compromised, you experience poorer fuel handling, reduced waste clearance, and a brain environment more primed for toxic protein buildup.
Restoring cellular health means removing what impairs it. The framework is fourfold: excess linoleic acid from vegetable oils, endocrine-disrupting chemicals, electromagnetic fields, and endotoxins from the gut. Clearing these factors allows mitochondrial function and metabolic signaling to normalize.
Start with linoleic acid from vegetable oils. Seed oils, canola, soybean, sunflower, safflower, corn, grapeseed, are pervasive in restaurants and packaged foods. The guidance is to eliminate these oils, replace them with fats like grass-fed butter, tallow, and ghee. Avoid conventionally raised chicken and pork that accumulate high linoleic acid. Cook at home to control ingredients and read labels carefully since vegetable oils hide in items like almond butter and hummus. Keep daily linoleic acid under 5 grams, and if possible, under 2 grams.
Next, reduce exposure to endocrine-disrupting chemicals that mimic estrogen and suppress mitochondrial activity. Use glass or stainless steel containers and avoid heating food in plastic. Choose personal care products without synthetic fragrances or parabens. Limit exposure to synthetic estrogens from certain medications. Support balance by maintaining adequate progesterone levels.
Electromagnetic fields are the third factor. To lower EMF burden, keep your phone in airplane mode when not in use, and especially during sleep. Turn off Wi-Fi at night. Prefer wired connections. Avoid Bluetooth earbuds that create constant exposure, and spend time grounding outdoors by walking barefoot on soil or sand.
Finally, repair your gut to reduce endotoxins that inflame and impair mitochondria. If you have gut symptoms, temporarily avoid high-fiber foods that feed harmful bacteria in a damaged gut. Focus on simple, gentle carbohydrates like ripe fruit and white rice, about 200 to 250 grams per day, until symptoms settle. Then gradually reintroduce well-cooked vegetables, roots, and starches to support beneficial bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids and help restore gut integrity.
These steps directly address the cellular pathways implicated in obesity-related cognitive decline. Lowering linoleic acid reduces lipid stress on neurons, improving mitochondrial output. Minimizing endocrine disruptors and EMFs reduces signal noise that interferes with hormone action and cellular calcium handling. Calming gut-driven endotoxin load decreases systemic and brain inflammation that undermines leptin transport and function.
Keep in mind that dietary fat is not the enemy at all levels. The problem arises at concentrations that create lipotoxic stress and proaggregation conditions. By controlling intake and removing oils with excessive linoleic acid, you steer your lipid environment away from the patterns that encourage amyloid misfolding.
Your action today can be precise. Audit your kitchen and remove vegetable oils. Then stock alternatives like butter, tallow, and ghee. Shift storage to glass or stainless steel. Set your router on a nightly timer and charge your phone away from your bed in airplane mode. If your gut is irritated, simplify your carbs for now, then reintroduce cooked vegetables once symptoms ease. These are direct levers that realign signals reaching your brain.
Here's your challenge. Choose one of the 4 E's and execute 3 concrete changes in the next 24 hours. For example, replace all cooking oils with butter or ghee, swap plastic meal containers for glass, and set your Wi-Fi to turn off overnight. Track how you feel and build from there.
Thank you for watching Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.